Like fictional sports stories? Follow my new YouTube channel at Playbook Tales 26 for new great content.
Today, we'll take you back into NBA history and relive one of the great matchups as it happened. The headline story of this young NBA season has been Michael Jordan. Playing with a spectacular style reflecting his pure joy for the game, Jordan has sparked the Chicago Bulls to a surprising 1986 start. Last Christmas Day, Rookie of the Year Patrick Ewing and the Knicks defeated the Boston Celtics in a double overtime comeback thriller. But a year later, Ewing's frustrations mirror those of a struggling New York team desperate for a turnaround.
We're going to go into overtime. We're going to win this game.
Two new young head coaches lead both teams today as the Chicago Bulls meet the New York Knicks. And welcome to Madison Square Garden in New York. Pat O'Brien has already wished you season's greetings outside and inside. It's the Chicago Bulls and the New York Knicks on Christmas Day. And good afternoon again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton, and it's our opportunity to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday. And, you know, people are still talking about a year ago when the Knicks trailed the Celtics by 25 and won in double overtime. We've had a lot of exciting Christmas Day games, and maybe this is another one of them. And today we have a matchup between one team that was expected to do much better this year, but instead has gone the other way, and another club that has been one of the pleasant surprises of this NBA season. And the pleasant surprise, as I bring in my partner Tommy Heinsohn, are the Chicago Bulls, expected to win, most people said, 25 games, more than halfway toward that. They've had a great year, and Michael Jordan is the key.
Well, I think Doug Collins has a lot to do with it. He's a new coach. He believes in speed, and he believes in giving freedom to his players. And who could enjoy that freedom more than a player like Michael Jordan? I think a perfect style for Michael Jordan. When he gets it all down, he's going to be something. I think he's going to have a great game today.
Now, the downside of this day, the New York Knicks, they have the second worst record in the NBA coming in. They haven't figured out what to do with their two big men, Cartwright and Ewing. Hubie Brown was fired. Bob Hill is here, and the question everyone wants to know, are the Knicks really as bad as they've played so far?
I don't think so, Dick. I think Hubie Brown believed in size. They played like that for a couple of years. Bob Hill believes in using speed. So they're coming down one stream and heading up another one. It's going to take a little while to get that speed incorporated into what they're trying to do. And trying to do it in the middle of the season is very tough.
All right, Tommy, and of course the Knicks will have to concentrate on defense today. The Bulls have won the two previous meetings, and in those games, Michael Jordan has scored 50 and 40 points. So sit back and enjoy the Bulls and the Knicks. Here at Madison Square Garden, let's introduce you to the starting lineups for both teams, beginning with the visiting Chicago Bulls. In their front court, Earl Cureton, Charles Oakley, and Granville Waiters open up front. John Paxson and the incomparable Michael Jordan in the backcourt. Doug Collins, former CBS commentator in his first year as head coach. For the New York Knickerbockers, they're going with a big lineup of Bill Cartwright, rookie Kenny Walker, Patrick Ewing at center, Gerald Henderson, and Gerald Wilkins in the backcourt, and Bob Hill, who was an assistant at Kansas and with the Knicks before becoming head man. Dick Bavetta and Earl Strom are today's officials. And we've taken care of the housework. We're ready to go with the game on Christmas Day. I hope you enjoy it. Knicks are in white, the Bulls are in red. And there is Jordan, and he'll be guarded, I believe, by Wilkins.
Dick, both teams love to run and trying to get that speed incorporated into their style of play.
Ewing going strong, starts the game.
And when the fast break doesn't work, Dick, they go to the low post, the Knicks, to either Cartwright or Ewing.
Paxson controls. He's in the backcourt. Jordan. Ewing picks him up, and Waiters has his shot blocked by Kenny Walker. Bulls get back defensively, and the Knicks can't run. Right now, Cureton is on Ewing. Cartwright, double team. Gerald Henderson hits from the corner.
You've got to have good outside shooting if you're going to use those big men inside. Complementary outside shooting important.
And that's where the Knicks have had a lot of trouble so far this year. They have not been able to hit open shots when their big men have been doubled. Oakley. Ewing. And here the Knicks try to run it. The guy to do it is Wilkins. And he's fouled, but that's what the Knicks want to do.
Get the rebound, get it into the middle of the floor as quickly as possible, and have a three-man attack. The Knicks working very hard on that in practices since Hill took over.
Charles Oakley commits the foul, and Gerald Wilkins, who should be one of the keys to the Knicks' fast break. The brother of Dominique, a fine open court player, and unharnessed, though an exciting performer in his second year.
This fast break style of play ought to be right up his alley because he's a great athlete, and as a wingman on the fast break, much like his brother Dominique, he could be devastating.
The Knicks lost 8 in a row till they beat San Antonio on Monday night, and in fact had lost 6 straight at the Garden before that victory. And now they own all of the 6 points in the first minute or so of this game.
Paxson is their real floor leader right now. They tried Colt at the beginning of the year, but Paxson is the guy they feel can get the job done.
And he's also their best outside shooter, other than this guy. Jordan finds Oakley. Batted away by Ewing. 2 blocked shots by the Knicks, who have a 4-on-3, and Kenny Walker couldn't handle things. And it'll still be Knicks ball as the Bulls stepped on the line.
But the Knicks appear to have that fast break going. Here now we see Jordan, who's become a playmaker. When he draws double coverage, you better get your hands up. Oakley that time fumbled the ball.
Henderson is short. Jordan the rebound. Michael Jordan is averaging 37.7 points a game, leading the NBA. And the Bulls have not scored yet, and we've played nearly 2 minutes of this first period. Waiter sets a screen, and Walker gets the ball, and so far they're stymieing Michael Jordan in the first 2 minutes.
They're running 2 guys right at him and forcing him to pass the ball.
Cartwright, left-handed, and it's 8-0 Knicks.
Cartwright is one great low post player. Does he spread out for that low post position?
22nd timeout by the Bulls, and they haven't had much to cheer about at the Garden this year.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Doug Collins, as an ex-player, really the challenge for him is to learn how to teach and organize what he knows about the game.
Knows a lot.
Well, he was a great fast break player, and if he can get all that knowledge about fast break basketball into a system that he can teach, they'll have a great team in Chicago.
Jordan going the baseline to Michael Jordan. That's routine, and the Bulls finally score after nearly 2.5 minutes elapsed in the opening period. Jordan is guarding Gerald Wilkins. Ewing. And the rebound by Oakley. Jordan. Walker picks him up. You see the switch in hands? The ball didn't go in, but it was another Jordan move.
When he gets out on the wing and the ball that far up the court, that's great for him, one-on-one basketball.
And we'll have a foul on Chicago.
Here you're going to see a great move by Michael Jordan. Fakes, goes baseline, and uses both sides of the basket. He gets you to commit on one side, and then he's got the leaping ability to reverse it.
Chicago foul was on Curitin. 2 fouls on the Bulls. And Cartwright double teamed by Paxson and Curitin, and there's another Bulls foul. And this one will be against Curitin, and he picks up 2 in a row. So Bill Cartwright on the line. He is off to a terrific start, making a fine comeback from a fractured bone in his left foot, which he fractured 3 times. Corzine in the game for Chicago.
A must right now, because Corzine is going to lay some body on one of those big guys, probably Cartwright, and they need him to get the job done. Now let me tell you a little bit about Cartwright. Cartwright, as a low post player, as a center, really plays better against big guys than he does against power forward, because he doesn't handle guys who defend with quick feet very well. But he can get over those bigger guys, the centers.
And neither did Ewing when they started the season, with Ewing as the defensive forward and Cartwright as the center. 10-2 the score. The Knicks lead. 8:45 to go first period. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn in New York. And an illegal defense called against the Knicks, and Paxson yelled it first.
You're not allowed to double team the low post before the ball gets in there, and that's what Kenny Walker did.
Bob Hill said he wouldn't mind seeing some illegal defenses on the Knicks.
Well, because Hubie Brown made everybody play tough man-to-man, even on the weak side of the court, and they have to make a mental adjustment, the Knicks.
Michael Jordan, need I say, and he has all 4 points. Both have been spectacular inside reverse layups.
I'll tell you, he can find blue sky to get a shot off better than anybody in the game today.
They double Ewing, Corzine in front of him, and Patrick Ewing hits from outside, and he has come on lately. He's averaging nearly 17 a game, tied with Cartwright for the leadership. And a loose ball foul called against the Knicks as they were going alley-oop to Michael.
Not a bad pass from Charles Oakley, whose skills are going to be tested this year under the new style by Dougie Collins.
Foul is on Wilkins, and that's the first foul on the Knicks and Gerald. Good screen for Corzine on the Knicks, and Jordan misses, and a Knick foul inside.
Charles Oakley is one great offensive rebound. He uses that body so well. But watch Michael Jordan now, sees this defense on the strong side and still has that leaping ability to go to the reverse side.
Kenny Walker, the Knick foul. Oakley. Ewing might have gotten a piece of it, and they're going to jump it.
One thing Oakley has to learn as a player, Dick, they're trying to capitalize on him as a low post player, but he doesn't have an awful lot of moves. He's got to work on those moves so that no matter what the defense does, he's got an answer to it.
He's the second leading rebounder in the league in his second year out of small Virginia Union. But he's made some mental mistakes and leads the club in turnovers, and that bothers Doug Collins.
I don't think he's ever played in a wide open style like the Bulls are playing now.
Gets the feed from Jordan, no foul, and Granville Waiters misses a follow-up, and Oakley is inside and he is fouled. So there's the grinded out strong play that the Bulls have used, and the foul is on Ewing, his first personal foul.
Well, Oakley is not a leaper, believe it or not. He uses that wide body to carve out a lot of room to offensive rebound, but you can get at the ball once he tries to put it back up, and the Knicks did that time.
2 shots for Charles Oakley. 7:39 on the clock. The Knicks lead the Bulls 12-4.
I think this player is the key to whether the Bulls are ever going to be successful with this style of play.
Originally a first-round draft pick, not by the Bulls, but by Cleveland, and traded in the Keith Lee deal. 1 out of 2, and it's 12-5, New York. Henderson to Ewing. Knicks wind up with it, and now the Bulls do. Granville Waiters, who played with Houston, didn't play much last year, starts at center. So they're going with a bigger lineup now with Waiters and Corzine, and Waiters hits the jump shot.
That's why he's in the lineup, because he can come up as a 5th man and hit that outside shot from 18 feet. Could be a good weapon for the Bulls.
Doug Collins says I buy time with him. The key man with the big minutes will be Corzine, but Waiters is a presence. They want him to be aggressive. Gerald Wilkins hits from outside. 4 out of the 5 Knicks starting the game have scored now, and it's a 14-7 game. Henderson respects Paxson's ability to hit from outside. Oakley. Waiters can't keep it alive. Kenny Walker. And draws the foul. Kenny Walker on the run as he did in Kentucky so much.
You're going to see him take off up the floor. A fast break basketball by the Bulls looking, and they have to pull up. And now you watch the 5th man up, Waiters. That is a real weapon. You don't have to have fast men to run a good fast break, but you got to know where they all are and have some good skills. And Waiters has that outside shot that could be very helpful.
There you're looking at the leading scorers in the league, and Jordan is trying to become the 3rd player ever to average over 35 points a game for a season. Rick Barry managed it one time, and Will Chamberlain achieved it 4 times. And that's a pretty good margin he has over Alex English and the rest right now.
Well, so much of the offense that they are using here for the Chicago Bulls is directed to Michael Jordan. He's going to have a lot of shot attempts. It's really how much he can create shots for other players that's going to be important.
And as Doug Collins told us, all the Bulls want to do is stay close down the stretch and let number 23 take over.
He's really the only true go-to guy they have right now, and that's the other thing the Bulls have to develop, an option down the stretch to go to other than Jordan.
Well, we've been spending a lot of time on this man, and no wonder, because he is certainly a prize. But the Bulls find themselves trailing the Knicks by 7 points. 14-7 with 6:32 to go in the first period.
But he is such a spectacular player that I think half the Chicago fans, they don't even mind when they lose because he plays so beautifully.
Bulls are 4th in the league in home attendance and 2nd in road attendance. Gives you an idea of his attraction. Here's Kenny Walker, the Knicks' top draft pick out of Kentucky, and Bob Hill said he's got old-fashioned values. He's got a lot of heart, probably better than a lot of fans expected him.
A very key player for the Knicks also, because he's got the speed to help the Knicks form that 3-man attack on that fast break style of play they want to use.
16-7, Knicks lead. Nearly halfway through this opening period. Henderson on Paxson. Walker tight on Oakley. Jordan came off the screen. Ewing. 4 rebounds for Patrick Ewing thus far. Cartwright, and he's fouled inside, and the Knicks are gaining good advantage by getting the ball to their big people.
When they don't have a good fast break opportunity, and that's really at the discretion of the players, Wilkins showed great patience not to take a poor shot and then get the ball at least to Bill Cartwright, but Granville Waiters does not have the strength to keep Cartwright out of that good low post position.
And the foul was on Waiters, his first. Bob Hill said Cartwright probably would rather be the center, and he had a terrific start scoring-wise this year, but he says he'll play point guard if you ask him. He has really been a cooperative guy.
I think he wants to win more than anything else. He enjoyed one good year here with the Knicks under U.B. Brown. They took the Celtics to 7 games. He'd like to see that repeated and even go further.
Oakley fell down against the post. He's all right, apparently. The Bulls are only 3 of 13 from the field. Ice cold first period for Chicago. And a Knick foul. And Gerald Wilkins commits his second personal foul. And the next foul for the Knicks will put them in the penalty. The Bulls already are.
Well, Wilkins accepting the challenge of trying to guard Michael Jordan, which is no easy job.
And a foul on Jordan. Who said he accepted the mission? He had no choice.
Santa went right by Gerald Wilkins that time to the hoop. Jordan has such quickness on him and such a big first step that if he gets you leaning just a least little bit, he'll blow right by you.
Kenny Walker, his second. And coming in the ball game is Chris McNeely, a former CBA performer, played 30 games for the Knicks last year and who really may have a future here.
One of the problems the Knicks have is rebounding, believe it or not, both with Cartwright and Patrick Ewing, and they hope McNeely will fill that bill.
1 out of 2 for Jordan, and a 17-8 lead, Knicks. They're doubling the big people every time down, the Bulls.
2 bad passes by Ewing off the double team. He didn't find an open man.
Tucker is in the game for the Knicks. He finds Ewing. He finds the basket. Patrick Ewing with 6 points is the game's high scorer, and the Knickerbockers lead by 11.
More and more, he's going to that fall-away jump shot, Patrick Ewing.
Cartwright, Tucker, and now McNeely all around Jordan. Someone's open. Oakley, he did not get a good pass. Oakley again. Sloppy out there, and a loose ball foul has been called against Chicago.
You see the inside play to Patrick Ewing, and he can leap over Dave Corazine, who is not known for his vertical leaping ability.
We told you Tucker was in the ball game for the Knicks in the backcourt, and now Gene Banks is getting set to come back. Not quite yet for the Bulls. Under 5 minutes remaining, first period. Tucker, he's known for the outside shot, one of the three-point leaders a year ago. And Henderson is blocked by Paxson, and here comes Gene Banks into the ball game for Chicago. Gene Banks returned in the beginning of December after being out with a broken foot. Oakley goes out.
At the foul line, however, is Gerald Henderson, who they got from Seattle, and they feel that he's going to be ultimately their great point guard to make this running style work. Sparrow is not indoctrinated with that style. Henderson played for the Celtics, who love to run, and also the Sonics, who love to run.
Well, the Knicks are hoping Henderson fills that bill because they made a controversial trade that could cost them a lottery pick in a complicated deal with Seattle to get Henderson. But Henderson is starting today for only the third time since coming to the Knicks. Banks is open and hits. Gene Banks.
Bulls are really trying to diversify their offense. They're trying to get everybody on the scoring column.
They double Cartwright. McNeely throws the ball away. Talking about Banks coming in, Oakley went out after going 0 for 6 from the field, and already Banks has given the Bulls a dividend at that forward position. They doubled Banks. Paxson is open, and their best outside shooter, John Paxson, hits.
That is definitely one man you don't want to double off, John Paxson, because he'll kill you from out there.
And now a 20-second timeout called by the New York Knicks. Chris McNeely, who can play both forward positions. Bob Hill, first time a head coach on any level. He was an assistant at Kansas under Ted Owens and Larry Brown. Played at Bowling Green University and is 38 years old, but those are the basic facts about a man, and you had a chance to speak with him.
Now, the flip side of him is that he knows how to teach and organize from his long coaching experience as an assistant in the college ranks, but he's only been in the pros 1 year. Does he really understand the pro style of fast break, that he can teach it and organize it quickly for this Knicks team?
Not only the fast break, but when to make substitutions. A lot of times he's been kept with keeping his good people on the bench a little too long. How long does it take a guy to learn that kind of a thing?
I'll tell you, a college guy, the tempo of the pro game is so different in college that sometimes they never do catch on. In my opinion, it takes a college guy 5 years to really become a good pro coach.
Ewing misses from the baseline, and Banks gets the rebound. 21-12 the Knicks lead, and 3:42 remaining in the first period. Paxson hit his last shot, 2 in a row for John Paxson, who began the year on the bench, as Tommy mentioned. Bulls have scored 6 in a row now.
They haven't gotten their running game going as well as they would like, the Bulls.
And they'll call the foul against Paxson. The Bulls have not been a running team this year, as Paxson picks up his third personal foul, and we may be looking at Steve Coulter early. The Bulls have been a grinded out team, either by design or necessity. They say, according to Doug Collins, they don't have forwards who can really have that outside speed and fill the lane on a break.
Well, the guy that is the key player for speed on this team would be a Banks or a Sellers, who they think may come along, a 7-footer who can run. But they also don't push the ball up that quickly. That's why they got this man. They felt that he could get it up there with great speed, but he doesn't really know how to run the break with all its options.
Steve Coulter began the year as a starter, former Portland Trailblazer, but a woeful outside shooter at 36%. Corzine knocks it into the hands of Tucker. 8-point lead for the Knicks. 3:15 to go in the period. Coulter is guarding Henderson. McNeely was open. Not a good shooter normally. Misses there, and Corzine clears.
Right. When he gets the shot, he's really aiming.
Jordan with a screen from Waiters. Ewing clears, and the Knicks run. Henderson penetrates. And now Coulter pushes it up for the Bulls.
But not down the middle of the court.
Tucker is on Jordan now. McNeely helping out, and McNeely commits the foul. And the Knicks will bring in another big man, Pat Cummings. their best offensive rebounder. When we return to Madison Square Garden, 2:31 remaining in the opening period.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
And don't forget, coming up next on CBS Sports, it's the John Hancock Sun Bowl with the 12th-ranked Huskies of Washington taking on the 13th-ranked Crimson Tide of Alabama and their punishing linebacker Cornelius Bennett. The John Hancock Sun Bowl coming up next right here on CBS Sports. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn on Christmas Day, where the Knicks lead the Chicago Bulls 22-14. That much time remaining in the first period. Leading scorers, Cartwright and Ewing for the Knicks each have 6. Jordan has 5 for the Bulls.
Charles Oakley, number 34.
Ewing has got the great speed to get up the court, and if you remember Akeem Olajuwon last year in the playoffs coming up as a cleanup rebounder on the fast break, that's what Bob Hill is hoping Ewing will become.
Charles Oakley comes back in the game for Chicago. Waiters goes out, so Corzine now becomes the center on this club. Michael Jordan scored 50 points. That was the most points of any opposing player in the new Garden when he got 50 on opening night against the Knicks.
And believe it or not, I truly believe Michael Jordan doesn't want to have to score 50 points a game. I think he wants to become a playmaker so this team can win.
McNeely low to Pat Cummings, working against Oakley. Strength against strength. And Oakley has position. Winding down the 2 minutes on the clock in the opening period.
Much too slow advancing the ball.
Jordan couldn't convert, gets his own rebound. Oakley got a good bounce pass into it. Jordan, a little bit off his game in this first period.
He's been front rimming, and that usually is an indication you're a little bit tired. And all those points in the prior games might be taking its toll on his legs.
Cummings setting a pick for Henderson. Tucker, who doesn't like to go to the hoop, pulls up. Cummings with the offensive rebound. He leads the club in that category.
He is a wonder, Pat Cummings. He can't leap 2 inches off the ground, but he knows how to carve out room to get the rebound.
Well, you had a guy named Silas who was pretty good at that.
And Don Nelson, too. He couldn't jump up in the air to beat his man.
Triple T, Jimmy, put the shot up anyway. And now the Bulls down by 6. And a foot block. And a 24-second clock. And we have some audio transmission problems, we understand, from the control room, and we apologize and hope you bear with us. One minute to go in the first period. Jordan finds an open man in Coulter. Coulter, who is the lowest shooting percentage in the NBA, 36%. Misses, and a turnover discontinued on Tucker's part, and it'll be Chicago ball.
Well, that last Chicago possession was certainly what Michael Jordan would hope to do, is draw the defense, find the open man. Coulter had a wide open shot, and that's the shot he's been missing that they thought he could hit.
Trying to come within 4 of the Bulls. 7 on the shot clock. Knocked away, and 5 seconds on the clock, 29 in the period, and it's the Bulls trying to set something up.
5 seconds, Chicago.
Gene Banks inbound. Jordan way off balance, misses. And the Knicks, who have missed their last 8 shots, playing for the last shot of the period, leading by 6.
Gerald Henderson knows when to slow it down and when to put the heat on the defense.
Cummings with 8 seconds to go.
What a weapon when you got a power forward that can hit an outside shot like that.
And Jordan throws it away. And so this is a opening 12 minutes that Michael Jordan would like to forget, with the Knicks leading 24-16 and a chance to have a 10-point lead at the opening period if they score. Ewing. Ewing again, and it counts. Michael Jordan shot only 2 of 8 from the field. And the Knicks forge in front by 10 after one period at Madison Square Garden. Patrick Ewing started the season as a forward. Didn't like it, obviously. It affected his play, and you can see how much better he feels and he's produced as a center.
More enthusiastic as a center. It was asking him an awful lot to do to play the power forward spot when he feels he's a center. But watch him go back, get the ball, and put it back in. Now, the real problem for Patrick Ewing as a power forward was that he felt he wouldn't look good as a defensive power forward. He's so used to playing stiff-knee defense and shot blocking, guys coming to the middle, to take a guy and then ask him to go out on the court, bend his knees, get down and play was like trying to get him to play a completely different game.
And, of course, coming up at the half, which Pat O'Brien, of course, will host, we'll take a closer look at the Patrick Ewing situation thus far with the Knicks this year. The 16 points scored by the Bulls is the fewest points given up by the Knicks in a period this year. They have been a pretty good defensive team largely, although they have the lowest scoring average in the NBA. They haven't even averaged 100 points a game, and they fail to get 100 in half of their games. Rory Sparrow comes into the ball game for the Knicks, replacing Gerald Henderson, and of course Sparrow was the starter before Henderson moved in, and I think his confidence has suffered a bit.
And I can see the reasons why, because he would probably have the most difficult adjustment to make to this style of play. He was so used to playing slow down basketball with Ubi, to try and pick up that pace again on the hill, too tough a job for him.
Elston Turner comes in for the Chicago Bulls. Those are the two substitutions. Start the second period. Oakley is pushed by Cummings, and that's his first foul. And Jordan is getting a breather right now on the bench, having scored 7 points, but not the kind of game people are used to.
You know, the Bulls got lots of good shots in that first quarter, but just couldn't hit them.
Corzine inside. By Cummings, got a piece of it. Corzine hustles. Coulter still trying, missing outside, and Tucker comes down with it.
Boy, did he make a mental adjustment, Coulter. He missed the first jump shot short, and he aimed it so he would be long, and that's exactly what happened. Hit the back of the rim.
Against Corzine, Cartwright missed everything. And it's still Knicks ball, and credit Kenny Walker for the hustle as it was last touched by Oakley.
Well, he's the guy that has not been incorporated into this style of play yet. He's got to get his on the fast break, Kenny Walker, or off the boards. And they're hoping that he will battle hard for rebounds.
He's had a back injury, and that slowed him lately. Cartwright.
Now that was a power pivot move, Dick.
Cartwright and Ewing each with 8 points to lead the Knicks, who are up by 12, and that's their biggest lead. Oakley going in, tipped up and in by Corzine, I believe.
That's what they need from Oakley. Strong moves to the middle after he gets in a low post. He hasn't been doing that an awful lot.
Knick lead is 10 early here in the second period. Six on the shot clock. Cartwright is fouled. Elston Turner that time. You really went up several octaves on this move.
I'll tell you, when I see a guy take it strong to the hoop like Cartwright does right now, Corzine lets him move to the middle, and strong up hook shot. That's unstoppable. And that's the type of shot that Ewing has to develop, I think, to really be effective for this club.
Foul was on Turner, and you got a glimpse of a guy Tommy talked about before, Brad Sellers, who was a surprising 9th pick in the draft, a 7-footer out of Ohio State. And I kind of think deep down that Doug Collins would have preferred Johnny Dawkins as his pick. But Sellers is in there now. What will he do eventually?
Sellers really has to get used to the physical pro game. That's his big problem right now. I think he's got an awful lot of skills. He can shoot outside. He's big. And for a guy 7 feet, he can go out and play some of those quick forwards. That's pretty astounding skill he has there. I think he'll work in nicely ultimately for this ball club.
You stress the word ultimately, because he's nowhere near that yet. 30-18, the Knicks lead. Minute and a half gone by. Second period.
Look at the size advantage Sellers has on Kenny Walker, however.
And Oakley and Cummings have to be separated by Dick Bavetta right now. Hey, this is Christmas Day, Tommy. They shouldn't be going at that.
Where is all the good cheer, Richard? Give him an eggnog.
His second personal foul.
Watch the inside right now. They're battling as Oakley really tries to go for position. Cummings denies him, and that's when the bodies start to bang.
Foul is on Cummings. I know he's your kind of guy, because in fact he kind of looks like you did in your latter years as a pro.
Sloping shoulders, sleepy eyes, and the next thing you know, he's in your face.
2 fouls on Cummings, 2 on the Knicks. Corzine guarded by Cartwright. Tucker into the hands of the playmaker, Sparrow. Sellers is on Walker, and you pointed out he's got several inches on Kenny Walker, the 7-footer does, Sellers. Coulter.
He was quick to the leap to deflect that shot by Walker. I saw Sellers do a reasonably decent job on Larry Bird defensively.
Turner. This is to the corner, and Corzine goes up. He has his shot blocked, and it was Kenny Walker who got a piece of that one, and the Knicks come down.
Corzine worked so hard. If he could just jump 4 inches, he'd score a ton.
Cummings misses, and here's Oakley, and it was Tucker who made the fine defensive play, knocking the ball away. Sparrow with the fancy pass to Cummings. Nine on the shot clock. Sellers giving Walker the outside shot. Sparrow off a Cartwright screen hits for the Knicks.
I think ultimately Sparrow could be a great middleman because he can really hit that shot. He just has to have the tempo in his head to help the Knicks.
The Bulls have not had the lead at all in this game, and the Knicks have their biggest margin right now of 14. 8:35 remaining in the first half. Corzine nowhere to pass, through it out. And you know, Tommy, the Bulls were standing around on offense. Nobody was moving without the ball.
One of their big problems, they stand around when Michael Jordan gets it. They don't get open.
Well, Jordan is going to be coming back in the game. And we'll be back at Madison Square Garden after this word from your local station. Here's a look at the Atlantic Division standings. And the story here is that the Boston Celtics did not lose their 9th game last year until February 13th. And they're locked in a battle now with Philadelphia, and you can throw the Washington Bullets in there. And the big story for the Celtics is that Bill Walton is going to be out for about 6 or 7 more weeks with surgery, and you know how important he was last year. What else with the Boston Celtics right now, Tommy?
They are having monumental problems with their bench. The bench that was so effective for them last year and helped them win the title is no longer there. The 6th, 7th, and 8th man are no longer functioning members. So all the rest of the benches had to move up several notches to help contribute, and they haven't done the job.
Starters playing too many minutes?
That's been a consequence, and that could really hurt them coming down the tail end of the season.
Michael Jordan is back in the game for the Bulls, who trail 32-18, and there'll be a foul against Charles Oakley, and that will be his 2nd personal foul. So the Knicks will go to the line, and it'll be Pat Cummings.
Do I love to watch Pat Cummings play the low post. Now, he can't jump, but he can get a shot off in the low post because he knows how to read the defense. He turns away all the time from the defense, and he throws some fakes at him every once in a while. Smart player.
And wants to play a lot more than he's been playing. He's the backup front court player, and in New York these days everyone is under the trade gun, although with the salary cap not the easiest thing in the world to do. And Cummings' name has been mentioned along with almost everybody.
I think it'd be a mistake to get rid of Cummings.
Michael Jordan trying to get on track here. He has scored 7 points, but there's a lot more he'd like to do. And Jordan loses it out of bounds. Whatever the Knicks are doing, and Bob Hill had in mind for Michael Jordan, has worked thus far.
They have doubled him every time he's gotten the ball in a low post. They'll try and make him cough it up.
Cartwright with a high arcing shot. The rebound by Oakley. 8 rebounds for Charles Oakley.
But Oakley, with all that great defensive rebounding, holds the ball 2 counts before he finds the guard. That stops the fast break.
Sellers draws the foul. 7-footer rookie from Ohio State getting the chance. And as you mentioned, Kenny Walker has his hands full. That's his 3rd personal foul. And so Walker's going to have to come out of the game, and the veteran Lewis Orr will replace him.
This kid, Brad Sellers, why I like him as a potential player is he got great speed for a 7-footer, and he can hit that outside shot a lot like Bob McAdoo did. You wouldn't think of a 7-footer as potential quick forward, but he could do it.
Orr is into the ball game and has been kind of losing favor with the Knicks. He's a 38% shooter, and his name has been mentioned in the trade. And I'm sure his confidence has been at a low ebb right now. 33-20, and we talked about Coulter. Orr is the 3rd poorest shooter in the NBA right now.
Boy, Elston Turner is just trying to keep the ball right out of Sparrow's hands.
Sparrow. And it's still Knicks ball, last touched by Chicago. .726 remaining in the first half, a 13-point lead by the Knicks. Cummings against Oakley. They isolate him, and Cummings travels.
That time Oakley did a reasonably decent job defense. Didn't bite for Cummings' fakes.
Talked about how Sellers could help the Bulls shooting. Well, they need a lot of it from their front court. 3 of 16 so far in this game. Bulls have not been a good shooting club. In fact, they haven't converted their offensive rebounds well. Jordan. Sparrow right on him. Tucker first, Sparrow last, and Cummings waited, and Sparrow wanted the ball sooner.
Yeah, Jordan is having difficulty just getting shots off. He's had to go to the reverse side of the basket several times, and he's not getting free, easy movement on his jump shots.
Orr driving against Sellers. Knicks have it with 3 seconds on the shot clock. Tucker throws up a 3-pointer, and it's out of bounds. Chicago ball, and the Knicks were not aware of that 24-second clock ticking down, and Bob Hill will call timeout. But the way things have gone for the Knicks, a 33-20 lead at this juncture is really a Christmas gift. So far, Jordan has not done the work, and added to that are 4 turnovers, which may bother Michael more than anything.
Well, only one real bad turnover where he threw the ball over Coulter's head and out of bounds. All the rest of them were decent passes where perhaps his teammates didn't have their hands up and ready to catch the ball.
6.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn. Hope you're having a very Merry Christmas. Ewing comes out to meet Oakley. They double team Sellers. Corzine. And a foul. Corzine, 9 years in the league, and one thing he brings to the Bulls is that he's played on a championship team with Washington. Doug Collins told me, he says, he's my kind of player, and he'll play the important minutes.
Yeah, take a look at his eye, and you know why he's Dougie Collins' kind of player. He's got a black and blue eye there. He sticks his nose into the real tough action underneath the basket. Coaches love that. Look at that face. Give him a fur hat, baby, and a sled. Wow. I mean, I wouldn't want to get next to him.
The lead is 11. 33-22. 6:14 to go. Pressure in the backcourt. Elston Turner all over Henderson.
They're slowing the break up a little bit. That Turner's really making it difficult for the point guard of the Knicks to bring the ball up.
10 on the clock. Bulls have tightened their defense. Ewing, long range off the glass. That's not what the Knicks want to have, but Ewing now with 10 points. He and Cartwright are the only double figures in the game with 10 scores. The Knicks are really doing a job denying Jordan the ball. Not that time, and goaltending will be called against Ewing, and Jordan will have his first 2 points of this second period.
Good ball movement and a solid pick to spring Jordan loose underneath the basket, but boy, was Patrick Ewing there ready. Almost got a clean block.
Wilkins lost it. Jordan. He may be getting heated up. Michael Jordan and the foul against Wilkins, and it's his third.
This what could be so devastating. Jordan, if he didn't have to play so much offense, is a very good defensive player. Now watch him come up and take the blow and have enough left on his leap to still put it off the glass. They want to get him in more of those type of situations.
And Trent Tucker replaces Gerald Wilkins, who goes out with 3 fouls. Kenny Walker and Wilkins each with 3 for the Knicks. And Jordan looking for his 12th point of the ball game. And it doesn't take long for him to get to the area where he can get his average of 37 plus.
Well, I like a lot of ball players. If he's the center of the offense, he's going to get a lot of shots. He's going to score a lot of points. You got to forget about how many he scores trying to shut out the other guys.
8-point lead. And did it touch Henderson? It did not. At last was touched by Elston Turner, and the Knicks will inbound.
This guy is in a no-win situation. In a very quick period of time, he's going to have to imprint his personality on his team and show a lot of wins, and it may be very tough for him to do that.
And it's stolen away. Jordan. You know the interesting thing here, Tommy, is that the crowd is yelling as loud for Michael Jordan when he does something like that as they do for the New York Knicks, the home team.
They've always been great basketball fans here.
Chicago on an 11-2 run.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Michael Jordan even sets picks. He's not afraid to be personal. Look at that. Merry Christmas, Gerald Henderson. What a player, Michael Jordan. I mean, he doesn't want to score 37 a game. He wants his team to win.
13-12 on the year. They've won 3 of their last 4 as the Bulls maintain possession with 11 seconds on the shot clock. Doug Collins had them out, winning 7 of their first 10. And Jordan is fouled, looking for the opening, and the Knicks are already in the penalty, so that will send Jordan to the free throw line. The Knick foul will be against Trent Tucker, number 1 on Tucker. Earl Cureton, who started the game at forward, replaces Dave Corzine.
This is an extremely small lineup the Bulls have in there now. Oakley and Cureton matched up against Cartwright and Ewing. So Oakley and Cureton will really have to bang the boards.
How about that? 229 more shots than Dominique Wilkins, who led the league in scoring last year. Of course, that is not surprising when you consider the Atlanta Hawks' balance and the fact that they don't rely as much on Wilkins scoring as much this year as they did last.
Well, as other players come to the fore, your percentage of shots is going to go down. That's what they're trying to achieve here in Chicago with Jordan.
Cartwright loses the ball. And here's Jordan in an open court situation. Feeds Cureton, who gets fouled. And Michael Jordan made something out of very little there with a good pass, and Tucker picks up his second.
Well, you can tell he's got his head up and he's looking for these other players to score. They have to get used to Jordan in his new role. Last year they isolated Jordan to play one-on-one and overpower a double team, a triple team. Now they're trying to get him to convert that into good passing to his teammates.
Pat
Cummings returns to the game, and Cartwright goes out. Bill Cartwright gets 10 points for the Knicks.
And he did a fine job in that low post. Very, very solid performer for this Knicks team over the last several years.
1 out of 2 for Jordan. 2.5 minutes remaining in the first half. 7-point lead. Cureton with the free throw. Not Jordan. Henderson hits the jump shot. Gerald Henderson.
He has become a true all-around great player, Gerald Henderson.
Nine-point lead, Paxson. Ewing swoops down with his 9th rebound of the first half. Under 2 minutes to go in the half. Ewing, short hook, and a good position rebound by Oakley.
And Oakley holds the ball for 4 counts, and they still have a chance to score an easy one.
Turner, trailing, hits the jumper, and it's 41-34. The Knicks had a 15-point lead at one time. The Bulls have not had the lead at all as the Knicks ran out to an 8-0 lead. Henderson finds Cummings open. Air ball. Curtin clears. Chance to cut the lead to 5, and it's out of bounds. Still Chicago's ball, and Trent Tucker says no.
He had a power forward dribbling the ball up the side. He couldn't find a guard to get it to. He tried to get it to Jordan, but it was a poor attempt at getting it to him.
Jordan hitting outside with 18 now in the game.
Couple of those, and they go out at him. He's going to get that big first step in action again.
41-36. Under a minute. And a foul.
They've got Michael Jordan playing a forward spot right now, Dick, and they're going to have probably their most aggressive defensive team out.
Illegal defense call against Chicago. Well, when they bring in Turner, he gives them the flexibility to move Jordan to that forward position.
Well, they're going to go with speed and feet on the defense right now. Get up and press. Elston Turner was a guy who was doing a great job of stopping the fast break, the push up of the ball against the Knicks.
15 on the shot clock. Ewing, baseline. 14 for Patrick Ewing, the man who brought the Knicks back last Christmas Day against the Celtics.
You get so in the habit of being double teamed and turning away from the double team, and he has the ability to outleap a lot of the centers he'll play against.
Half a minute and 11 seconds on the shot clock. And an illegal defense, and that'll be a technical foul against the Knicks. That's the second time. Looking at Bob Hill, and you know, Pat Riley noticed Hill in one of the games at Madison Square Garden and saw that he was a dapper dresser. See the suspenders that Bob Hill is wearing? And Riley, who would know things, says, you know, that guy ought to get a suspenders endorsement. Paxson hits the technical.
Right now, he's just hoping to keep his pants up the way things are going for him this year. Suspenders or no belt, you're not worried about.
Granville Waiters comes in for Oakley, who goes out of the game having scored only 1 point, and he went in as the second leading scorer at 14.5, but he cleared the boards 9 times to lead his team. 19 on the shot clock, a differential of 2 seconds with the game clock. The Knicks by 6.
Who do you think's going to get it?
Let's see. Granville Waiters. Away by Ewing. No goaltending call. 3 seconds to go. Tucker drives in for the basket. No goaltending call. No basket. And that's the end of the first half, with the Knicks leading 45-37.
One of the key things, both these teams say they want to run. The number of shot attempts very down for 2 running ball clubs. The Knicks have only taken 38 shots, and the Bulls 39. Now that's not what you'd call tempo basketball.
The Knicks will take it any way they can get it, though, and they had a couple of fast break opportunities that they still have to work on. As Michael Jordan comes out, he has scored 18 points, 6 of 14 from the field. And again, the Bulls have rebounded only 4 times this year. Chicago with the ball. They have Paxson and Jordan in the backcourt. Oakley up front with Earl Curitin and Granville Waiters the center.
The Bulls just do not have an inside game to go to consistently, so the more that they can score easy baskets off the fast break, the better.
Jordan misses Ewing the rebound. They do not have really a post-up player other than perhaps Michael Jordan himself.
And Henderson not really pushing hard the ball up the court.
Ewing goes in and is fouled. Henderson starting in the backcourt with Gerald Wilkins, and up front it's the rookie Walker, Cartwright, and Ewing, who got a good pass that time from Henderson.
Patrick Ewing, since the coaching change, I think is a brand new player. His attitude has changed, and you know, one of the things you have to do when you're dealing with a great star who was supposed to really be the savior of this franchise is consult with the guy about a change of position. And I don't think they really did that here, and they put him in a precarious situation as far as career is concerned. He was going to look bad, and he didn't want to look bad, so I mean, all kinds of psychological morale problems develop because of that.
1 out of 2 for Ewing, and it's Michael Jordan, 3 against 1. No look pass to Granville Waiters, who scores.
Next lead, 46-39.
Right there, Graham, right there. Watch.
The open inside is clear for the Knicks. Henderson pulls up over Waiters, a 7-footer, and Waiters gets the rebound.
And holds it 4 counts before he gets the outlet pass. That's what's killing him from getting that speed into the lineup.
Oakley against Ewing. Basket counts. No, elbow. An offensive foul on Oakley, and that'll be his 3rd foul.
He is not a super leaper, and when he faces a guy taking it to the hoop bigger than himself, he'll try and ward him off, and he'll get called for a lot of offensive fouls.
7-point lead for the Knicks. Cartwright doubled with Paxson and Curitin, and Jordan steals the ball. We talked about a lot of his offensive capabilities, but defense is something that I know he likes to talk about. Jordan all the way. Curitin follows up, and a good hustle by Earl Curitin, who came over from Detroit in the trade for Sidney Green.
You know, when you push the ball up the court like Jordan did that time, even on the miss, you get better rebounding on the offensive board by some of your players because the defense just doesn't have time to concentrate on blocking you out.
And a timeout as the Bulls hang in there against the Knicks early here in the 3rd period.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Well, this division, the Central in the NBA, used to be laughed at, but no longer. Any one of these clubs can beat you any night, and that's not just a cliche. Atlanta has the lead. They've been playing the best basketball, but they're going to be missing Spud Webb, who will be out not 4 weeks, we now understand, but for 3 months. Spud Webb will be out of the Atlanta Hawks lineup as the backup point guard. But they look at the bottom clubs in the league. Tell us about Cleveland and Indiana.
I think Wayne Embry as general manager and Lenny Wilkens as coach have given stability there. And these 3 young players are given their head. Harper, Doherty, and Williams are really controlled inside. And I think Jack Ramsey has given organization to the Indiana Pacers and a knowledge of how to win.
Inside to Ewing. Curitin lost it, stepped on the line, and it's still Knicks ball. The leading scores. Jordan still has 18 for Chicago, and Ewing 15 for the Knicks.
You know, as bad as Chicago is playing in this game, shooting, they're hanging around.
They sure are. Cartwright. And a Bulls foul as Curitin pleads his case, and you know where that will end up. That's number 3 on Earl, who also played with Philadelphia before Detroit, and of course Doug Collins remembers him from those days with the Sixers.
Well, Curitin didn't play in a game, and Doug Collins wanted to see what his reaction would be to come out and play real hard after not playing him in a ball game. And Curitin could be a big factor in helping stabilize this team because he's fast enough to get up the court, and he also is a great offensive rebounder, a board banger.
Bill Cartwright has only 2 field goals, but he is 8 for 10 from the free throw line. So he has gone to the line, which is what the Knicks want him to do, and he has 12 points. 7-point lead for the Knicks, just under 10 minutes to go in the 3rd period. Dick Stockton, Tom Heinsohn, Pat O'Brien with you on Christmas Day. Jordan short again. He does not have his outside shooting eye at all today.
Well, Wilkins confused him, and Jordan had to shoot on the way down, and that's a tough shot.
12 on the shot clock. Waiters setting a screen. Ewing on the switch. Knicks is causing problems for the Bulls, who have 2 seconds to go and force it up there. They got it up in time, but the Knicks, with good switching defense, made the key moves there.
And Ewing went out and harassed John Paxson, so they couldn't take a good shot.
7-point New York lead. They have the ball. Knicks have never led in this game. Henderson got by Jordan, who was gambling for the steal, and Gerald Henderson is in double figures with 10, and the Knicks are up by 9.
Well, Henderson is always under control.
Alley-oop from Oakley, and a foul called against the Knicks, Gerald Wilkins.
Look at Ewing fighting for position right now. And all of a sudden he gets the ball. There's the double team, but watch what they do. They keep him off the boards, and Waiters, even with that slender body, manages to bump him out about 5 feet out of the real key rebound area.
Trent Tucker comes into the ball game, Tommy, because Gerald Wilkins has committed his 4th personal and goes to the bench. Wilkins has scored 4 points.
One of the problems Ewing has is really going for the rebound while a ball is in the air. He's still rebounding like a college player.
Technical foul has been called, I guess, on an illegal defense. Kenny Walker was the man in no man's land, and so each team has been guilty of 2 illegal defenses, a couple of technicals, and Paxson is on the line. The Knicks will bring in Chris McNeely to the lineup, and Walker will go out. Walker has 2 points, but keep in mind he has really been hampered by a bad back lately. He was in double figures in 12 of his first 16 games as a pro. Michael Jordan missing again outside, and there's Oakley with the follow-up.
There's a man that knows how to get position while the ball is in the air. Charles Oakley.
First basket after missing 6. Ewing doubled. And McNeely takes too many steps underneath. We saw the big redwood trees in the red jerseys, and he took too many steps and turns it over to Chicago, trailing by 6, and the Bulls can come within 4, and they're not still shooting at all like a team challenging would shoot.
And they're playing pretty stiff defense right now, the Bulls, which are going to help them get back into this thing.
Tucker is the primary man on Jordan.
Boy, they're always running him into a second player, the Knicks.
Foul is on Henderson, his 1st. And the Knicks' 3rd team foul.
You know, Michael Jordan, when he gets the ball, has to know where 3 players are, 3 defenders, because they're going to run 3 guys at him.
Under 8 minutes to go, 3rd period. Jordan tried to hang on in midair for what seemed like 10 seconds. They lose it.
Good switch out by Patrick Ewing to destroy Jordan's rhythm on the shot.
And a foul away from the ball against Chicago.
Watch Patrick Ewing in the middle of your screen right now. Just jump right out there, and Jordan has to pull it back down and take an off-balance shot. Good defense by Ewing.
3 fouls on Waiters. Knicks, by the way, have 2 team fouls. Bulls 3. Henderson, good feed from Ewing. Gets it back. Henderson goes for 3 and hits. Gerald Henderson with the first 3-point field goal of the ball game for either side, and the Knicks are up by 9, 53-44.
That 3-pointer wasn't in his repertoire when he was with the Celtics.
Five on the shot clock. Oakley hits from outside.
Well, it looks like they've got their feet into the game a little bit now, and the pace is picking up and the intensity level.
Well, I know the confidence level for the Knicks is better in this game than I've seen them in a long time. So maybe they're getting the gist of things in the few practices they've had with Bob Hill.
You know, the freedom issue, when you turn players loose, you had to let them go out, give them the green light, and then try and rein them in a little bit. That's a tough job to try and accomplish during the middle of the season.
And that was Trent Tucker. .620 remaining, 3rd period, 55-46 the Knicks. They have led all the way by as much as 15 points. Paxson, best outside shooter for Chicago, John Paxson. Very heady performer.
Inside defense of the Knicks really very aggressive.
Ewing turnaround. Too far away, and now the Bulls trying to cut it to 5. They're the rebounders. Jordan feeds Waiters. Good move by Waiters as he got it over the outstretched arms, and now it's a 5-point lead.
Typical example of how great Jordan can be as a playmaker to make other players better. draw 3 players to him and find the open man. That time Wade is converted. They need more of that type of situation.
Cartwright from Henderson misses, and now Paxson and the Bulls will try to cut it to 3. Jordan, basket good and a foul. Bob Hill knew what kind of mission he had against this man.
The outlet was quick. It got into Paxson's hand, and there's Jordan all the way up the court. They want to get him out on the fast break as much as possible because things like this happen.
The New York Knicks leading the Chicago Bulls 55-52. And maybe we'll have the same kind of finish we've had in the past years. Christmas has been a lucky day for us on the NBA on CBS. See what this one brings. Doug Collins' Bulls were down by 15, now trailing by 3, and can cut it to 2 with Michael Jordan, who got his first basket of this period, trying to convert a 3-point play now.
You know, so many people view Michael Jordan in different ways. Some people think he's a great offensive player. Other people have said to me he's a ball hog and he shouldn't be scoring all those points. I think they're all wrong. He just wants to be a winner. Whatever it takes to win, he'll do for these Bulls.
Got hurt in the 3rd game of last year, returned late in the season, and scored 63 against the Celtics in the playoffs. Henderson goes high for the jumper. Good rebound by Earl Currit. Got good position. Extended himself. And now the Bulls will try to cut it to 1 with under 5 minutes to go in the 3rd period. Jordan with a screen from Currit, doubled. Currit misses, and there's Waiters with a turnaround shot. Out of bounds, and it's Knicks ball.
Well, Curtin does not have what you'd call the best of outside shots, but sooner or later you got to take a few if the man defending you is 10 feet away from you. And that's Curtin's problem right now. He's not really a great outside shooter.
Ewing runs into the double team, and 3-second violation was called. Ewing is facing a lot of the double teams that Olajuwon has faced when all of a sudden a guy comes up on the blind side, a guard.
Well, they'll do that at good big guys down a low post, but Patrick hasn't learned to score, to make his move on the catch, and that would defeat a lot of double teams.
4 minutes, 10 seconds remaining, 3rd period. Bulls trying to come back here, and we have a foul against McNeely of the Knicks.
You're going to see fast break technique. First thing you got to do is get the rebound, but then you got to find the outlet man. If you hold it for 2 or 3 counts, the defense has a chance to get extra people up the court, and that's what Oakley's been doing and Curtin's been doing.
Jordan is tripped as he drove the lane, and it's Trent Tucker with the foul, and for Tucker his 3rd, and Jordan will go to the line now, and it has been stuck. The score has it 55-52 for about a minute or so, and a chance to cut the lead to 1.
What a thrill it must be for Dougie Collins to work with this type of talented player. I mean, who also has the head to want to go and do anything you want him to do.
And a 1-point lead for the Knicks, 55-54. The Bulls have scored 8 in a row. They were down by 10 after 1 period, 8 at the half, and they are storming in here in the 3rd quarter.
And there's no fast break left in the Knicks. They're back to the slow down, walk it up type of offense.
Henderson on the return pass from Ewing, batted away. 4-on-2, Michael Jordan.
Oh!
And the Bulls lead. First time in the game.
Out in the open court, he can practically take off from half court and still score.
The Chicago bench was on its feet, shaking their heads. McNeely drives in and gets the bucket to give the Knicks the lead again, 57-56. But they're still buzzing here at the Garden as
Paxson racing that ball up, Dick. That's a good sign. Aggressive attitude right now, important for the Bulls.
Jordan turnaround. And Michael Jordan is on a tear. He has 26 points. The Bulls lead by 1 in a game that has picked up excitement and pace here in the 3rd. Cummings, no basket if it goes, and it'll be a Chicago foul. with 2:51 to go. Jordan has given the fans a boost. And before NCAA basketball Saturday, it's the Mazda Gator Bowl featuring a matchup between the Atlantic Coast Conference champion, the Clemson Tigers, and the Cardinal of Stanford, led by running back Brad Muster. College Bowl action Saturday on CBS. Well, here comes Michael Jordan. He has scored the last 8 Chicago points in 2.5 minutes. And Tommy, if he would hold the pace that he has established so far this year, averaging 37.7, this is where he would stand amongst the guards in scoring in the history of the league.
But he can do so many other things. Archibald was a push man on the fast break. Jordan is really a good defensive player. When he doesn't have to score as much, will give another dimension to these Bulls than Archibald perhaps ever gave to any of the teams he played for.
Keep in mind that if you're looking at Chicago's future, and if Michael Jordan continues to do what he's done, they've got a bright one anyway. They own 3 #1 picks in the next college draft.
Jerry Krause, their general manager, made some big moves for this ball club, and he's looking for a winning type attitude. That's why he made those moves.
A couple of them could be in the lottery too. I know the Nets are one in the Woolridge deal. Denver. Good block by Corzine as he blocked Ewing going up for the shot, and the Bulls with the 1-point lead and the ball and 2.5 to play in the third period.
Corzine got up 2.5 inches that time to block that shot.
That's why he's Doug Collins kind of player.
Well, he's a blue-collar worker, Dave Corzine.
Jordan. Curran.
Oh, beautiful rebound.
This is the grinded out style that the Bulls have established. Banks, great move on a fine pass from Corzine, and Banks gives the Bulls their biggest lead of 3.
That's why I can put Corzine up at the high post, because he knows where to find the open men.
And Bob Hill wants to talk things over. A 20-second timeout called by Bob Hill. Now he is yelling, and that is not his style. That was the style of his predecessor.
Well, every once in a while, you can't be placid all the time and be a nice guy. You got to get your point across, and sometimes in the course of a game, you got to lift it up an octave so that you make sure that they hear you. And let's take a look at what he's upset about. An easy score. As somebody didn't pick up a man on the weak side. They didn't rotate. That was Henderson that should have dropped back, and there's Banks sliding right in. So you say, hey, listen, when we're playing defense, baby, get a man. Don't let a guy step to the basket 1 step for a layup. And he's got a point.
Chicago showing why they're the top rebounding team in the league in the second half. They didn't in the opening stanzas. Under 2 minutes remaining, as you see in the third. Bulls have made a slow but inexorable comeback in this game as Henderson misses the layup. Blocked by Corzine again, and Paxson has Jordan and Curran. And Paxson with a left-handed move, as he's known to do, goes in and gets the layup, and the Knicks trail the Bulls by 5.
If you're going to fast break, do it in the third and fourth quarter. That's when it pays dividends. You break the team down. The other team, they get tired. The Knicks have slowed it down all by themselves. They're not running, putting pressure on the ball.
Ewing across the lane. And Ewing with 3 points this period has 17 and leads New York. One minute remaining in the third period. Jordan off a screen by Corzine. Ewing gets the rebound. The Knicks try to cut it to 1 with a basket here. Tucker outside. Paxson. Corzine, familiar shot, falls short, and the Knicks with 34 seconds. Henderson penetrates, and he's fouled, and that's why Gerald Henderson will help the Knicks in their fast break.
Let's take a look at Chicago's fast break, though. Paxson gets the ball, and look at it, push it at the defense as hard as he possibly can. Not super fast, but boy, he's inside that defense for a left-handed shot. Henderson came up the other end and did exactly the same thing. That's from his days of playing with the Celtics. They never relent on pushing the ball up the court.
Elston Turner comes into the ball game replacing Michael Jordan, who has 26 points And of course, the reason for this is that Jordan will have the last half minute and then throughout the period of the intermission going into the fourth period. And Bob Thornton comes into the ball game for the Knicks. A spot big man who can run the floor.
Very interesting right now. They have no center on the court, so that'll probably make Cummings the center. They're going to go out and press a little bit, put their best defensive team in there, it looks like.
Chicago with a 1-point lead. 19 on the shot clock. Differential of 6 seconds. Ten on the clock. Turner. Knocked away by McNeely into the hands of Turner. 4 seconds. Turner gets his own rebound. Batted away by Thornton. Into the hands of Banks. Turner. Foul. And that was good hustle by Chicago with Banks and Turner.
Well, Banks is a very intelligent basketball player. He can pass the ball as well as any of the quick forwards in the leagues. And I think he would be a tremendous advantage to this club if he gets the running game back into his head, because he's the key guy to make that style work. Third man up is very important for a fast break team.
Elston Turner was acquired from the Denver Nuggets. 4 seconds remain.
I haven't seen an awful lot of him play, but he certainly will play some defense at you. He'll get in your jersey.
That was his first miss of the year at the free throw line for Elston Turner. It's 63-61 and a steal by Banks. And Banks travels and still 1 second show on the clock.
Good play by Banks, though, to pick that ball off.
Home run!
1 second to go. Cummings will inbound for the Knicks in the third period. And the Bulls outscore the Knicks by 10. And that's the end of the third period with Chicago in front, 63-61. We'll return to Madison Square Garden after this word from your local station. Gerald Wilkins is back in the game, and Jordan remains on the bench as we start the final period. Wilkins playing with 4 fouls. McNeely, Henderson, Cartwright, and Ewing.
Well, you want a well-rested Michael Jordan down the stretch, mainly because the Bulls don't have a real low post game to go to in the last couple of minutes, and you need Jordan to go one-on-one. So you want him well-rested coming into the final quarter.
And the familiar refrain for the Bulls, just stay close till the end. Let Michael take over. Right now they're close. Ewing working against Corzine. Ties the game for the Knicks. So Ewing has 19 points. That's like 3 points better than a season's average. That's not like, it is 3 points better. Elston Turner. Ewing clears. Well, 13 rebounds for Ewing. Cartwright. Wilkins lost it, but there's Henderson. 10 on the shot clock. Henderson with a layup, left-handed style, and the Knicks regain the lead 65-63.
They have not had a penetrator, the Knicks, in a long time, and Henderson, when it's there, he'll take it, and he can make it or pass it.
Coulter and Turner are in the backcourt. Corzine is up front with Banks and Oakley, and the foul against Banks, who is trying to post up McNeely on that play.
You're going to see penetration by Henderson. A little crossover dribble, gets into the gut of the defense, and Corzine, not a shot blocker. Henderson, knowing it, took an easy one.
Oakley over Ewing, and Cartwright gets the rebound. Ewing. 21 points for Patrick Ewing. And the Knicks lead by 4.
Oakley under the gun defensively. He's tired. He wants timeout. Just not big enough to guard Patrick Ewing.
Is this a 22nd timeout? It is by Chicago, as the Knicks have scored 6 straight points to start this period, 4 of them by Patrick Ewing. Well, we've taken a look at what's going on in the east of the Mississippi River, kind of. What about west? a surprise. I don't think, Tommy, a lot of people expected so many teams to be playing at least 500 ball at this stage.
Well, Golden State certainly has jumped up by leaps and bounds, and I think George Karl's coaching there has meant an awful lot. And Seattle with Bernie Bickerstaff has got the type of team that he wants, and he's made them into a real competitive team.
And of course, Sam Bowie has been out with Portland, and Portland is 5 games over 500. But the one team we haven't mentioned are the Los Angeles Lakers, who a lot of people thought would be dethroned easily maybe this year with an aging Kareem, and the Lakers became the first team in the NBA to win 20 games this year.
But they've got 2 solid players off the bench from last year's squad, something like the Celtics don't have right now.
Elston Turner misses from the corner, and Corzine, and a foul called against the Chicago Bulls. And Bob Hill has even played the role of cheerleader a bit today.
He says, listen, we're on the road, huh? And the crowd is for us. Why can't we get home and let's hear the fans yelling for us and cheering for us? They booed this team when they got back from a road trip.
And that affected the team and Bob Hill. He says, we've got to learn to play at home. And I think the crowd has been positive for the Knicks as well as for Michael Jordan today. 2 minutes gone by, final period. The Knicks lead 67-63.
The Knicks have the advantage coming down the stretch because they got 2 low post players to go to.
Jordan knocks the ball away on a steal.
But then again, there's Michael Jordan, who can go one-on-one against anybody.
The great equalizer plus.
What happens when a guy like Jordan goes one-on-one at key points in the game is everybody will double in a minute. Somebody else will have to make the shot.
Jordan missing, McNeely clearing. The Bulls have yet to score here in the final period. Nearly 2.5 gone by. McNeely keeps it alive for Wilkins. Ewing. Cartwright lost it out of bounds. And Granville Waiters will come back in for Chicago. Show those suspenders, Bob. Somebody may be calling you.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
They wanted a goaltend, but didn't happen.
Granville Waiters is fouled out of the ball game. He scored 6 points in the game, and they don't expect much more. And they wanted him to be a presence in there, and it looked like he was.
Absolutely. I think you underestimate what his contribution can be to this team, or some people do in the league. He could help this team. He's got speed. He's got an outside shot. All he needs to do is beef up a little bit to defend against some of those stronger low post players.
And the 6 points tied his season's high, and he languished on the bench in Houston. Earl Curitin replaced him, and Gerald Henderson comes back in the game at 5:34 to go. So Bob Hill getting more into the flow of the substitutions down the stretch to get the matchups maybe more on your side.
Well, now is the point in the ball game where you've got to push the ball up and then be very selective about what types you take shots you take off the fast break, and Henderson's got that savvy.
Knicks by 1. They've lost 8 out of 9. Banks is fouled. Knicks not yet in the penalty. That's their 4th team foul. Neither is Chicago. Bill Cartwright with his 2nd.
The defense left over from Hubie Brown's days, very evident in that trip. I'll tell you, they're doubling and really being aggressive, the Knicks, against the Bulls this trip up the court.
Jordan. Ewing got a piece of it. Did he foul him?
What a play, Dick. 2 guys took away the strong side of the basket, and Ewing ready on the weak side. Remember how he went up and under, got the 2 defenders to take him on the strong side? Watch him here. There's 1, there's 2, and Ewing waiting for him. Cut him off at the pass. What a defensive play, but they call a foul.
3 fouls on Ewing and Michael Jordan. Looking for his 30th point of the game. He scored 40 or more in 15 of his 25 coming into this game. At one time had 9 in a row of 40 points. And that was the most since Wilt Chamberlain back in '62. You know, Chamberlain twice scored 40 points or more 14 straight games.
And faced with the same problem Wilt was, scoring all those points, but not really making his other teammates better players. And when he did, they won championships.
Ewing goes in strong. Patrick Ewing with 23 points. And it's 74-73 as the lead goes back and forth. We've had 8 changes in the game, and New York on top now. Time remaining, 4th period. McNeely on Banks doing a pretty good job on the veteran. Paxson misses a three-pointer, but there's Corzine again, and it's knocked away, and they're going to call a travel.
That is really a tough situation. Corzine hustled right in there. I mean, he bangs on the boards. Doesn't have the great leaping, athletic, mobile ability, but boy, he'll hurt you.
Knicks by 1. They lost it. Cartwright into the hands of Corzine to Paxson. 3-on-2. Good pass. Paxson to Banks, who gets the foul. And the timing of that pass was everything.
He came up and made the 2 defenders split. And then when they reacted to his penetration, he hit Banks. Banks should have gone up strong on one side of the basket instead of coming to the reverse side.
Don't forget the John Hancock Sun Bowl between Washington and Alabama coming up next on CBS Sports. Banks to the line to try to give the Bulls the lead again.
You know, I remember this man when he was in college going to the Olympic Games and the Olympic tryout camp, and they almost didn't take him. And every coach from the NBA that was there said, this guy is not going to make the Olympic team. We lobbied for him to be one of the players to make the team. I mean, we couldn't believe it, the NBA coaches, that Collins wasn't going to make the Olympic team.
The Bulls by 1. Cartwright strong against Corzine, and Jordan trying to defend from behind, and Cartwright will go to the line. The foul is on Corzine, and Cartwright has made a living out of going from to the free throw line this afternoon.
Well, he is one of the real great centers in the league, Bill Cartwright, of spreading out and getting the position he wants to get. He's a load, baby. You don't nudge him out of there. And even with a Corzine who's used to banging with people, can't deny him where he wants to get.
A lot of people didn't think Cartwright was ever going to play again. Fractured a bone in his left foot 3 times.
This is a great competitor. He loves to win. You know, this team is loaded with talent. So many of the top coaches in the NBA say the Knicks have got among the upper echelon of talent. I wouldn't mind coaching this team myself. That's how good a fast break team I think it could be.
We'll let Bob do it.
I know. I think he's got his head and the players' heads in the right direction.
So do I. Jordan looked like he caught his own pass. They called traveling against it. And with a score tied at 75, the Knicks will send in Pat Cummings and give Cartwright a rest. Cartwright has scored 14 points, most of them from the free throw line. And now crunch time is approaching with nearly 3.5 to go in a tie game. Ewing over Corzine. McNeely tried to keep it alive, and Henderson does.
What a rebound by McNeely. That's why he's in there right now, not for scoring. They're going to get that from Ewing or Cartwright. McNeely's going to give him the boards.
Inside to Ewing, double team. Tucker tips it in.
Oh, what an advantage when a guard comes in and gives you an offensive basket like that.
Knicks 77-75. Corzine, top of the key, ties the game. Only our 3rd tie of the game, and what did you expect? Christmas Day, the best comes out, and here on the NBA on CBS, we're seeing it again this year. Ewing from Henderson was held, and he'll go to the line. These have been the Christmas games at Madison Square Garden. 3 of the last 4 have gone into at least 1 overtime. Stay tuned. We told you that Michael Jordan scored 50 in the season opener here at the Garden, but in Chicago, he went wild down the stretch. Michael Jordan scored 40 points, but the real story of the Bulls' victory over the Knicks in Chicago was the fact that Jordan scored the last 18 points for the Bulls, including this game winner.
Michael into the front court. Left corner shot by Jordan.
And the Bulls beat the Knicks 101-99, and he is always geared up to do the same kind of thing today.
Well, it's a tough job for Michael Jordan to really win a ball game down the stretch as the season progresses, because you get tired, and to put that type of pressure on a ball player down the stretch in a ball game is awfully physically tiring, and he looks like he's tired already. He's been front rimming an awful lot of shots.
Don't forget, Tommy and I will pick the Miller Lite most valuable player of the game after the contest. 78-77. Jordan 10 of 27 from the field today, and 10 of 12 from the line. And a chance for the Bulls to regain the lead.
The Bulls searching out those other options. They got it to Corzine, and again he made a good move to the hoop, but not quite quick enough. But Jordan's willing to give it up, and it's very crucial that he find the right player to give it up to.
5 fouls on McNeely and Corzine. Best he can do right here after missing the first free throw would be to tie the game with 2:19 on the clock. And he does that. The Bulls and the Knicks have played more games decided by 3 points or less than any other teams in the NBA. And as we told you earlier, the Knicks have lost all 7 of theirs. Pat Cummings. Ewing trying to crash the offensive board. Knicks still have it with Ewing. Play. Under 2 minutes to go, 4th period, and Ewing misses. McNeely goes high, but it's Banks for Chicago on a 3-on-2 break. Not a good pass from Jordan, and traveling called against Banks. Will turn it over to the Knicks as Orr comes in for New York.
That was a heck of a play by Banks to keep that ball live and advance it. Poor pass by Jordan. Otherwise, Banks would have had a layup.
We're tied at 78. There's the timeout story. Knicks have lost 8 out of their last 9. The Bulls have won 3 out of 4. Ewing. On the other side, Cummings, and a new clock for the Knicks.
And Tucker was right there against Jordan for the rebound.
Ewing. And it's 80-78 New York. Ewing has 26 points and 16 rebounds. Timeout, Chicago.
So it's either Jordan going to try and make his move. I would think at this stage of the game he's going to try and score instead of pass off. And that's not a bad idea, because Corzine has not had good opportunities. Ewing has eaten them up when he went to the hoop on the pick and roll.
Corzine out on top. Hits the shot to tie the game again.
Well, that is his shot. Instead of going to the hoop and in a low post game, if you're going to use Corzine, use him up high like the Knicks were using Cummings on the pop out.
The Knicks led by as many as 15, and the Bulls led by as many as 5. And the Knicks have taken an 82-80 lead now.
Now that was a real surprise. Louis Orr in the ball game, and then go to him in the low post with Ewing in there. Good move.
And a surprise move. Banks on a feed from Michael Jordan.
They triple teamed Jordan. There was only one man on the weak side for the Knicks to guard 3.
18 on the shot clock. You see the game clock. We're tied at 82. Double team. Good pass back to Henderson from Ewing. And the Knicks lead 84-82. Timeout, Chicago. You know, when Scotty Sterling made those deals to get Jawan Oldham for Denver's #1, which right now would be a lottery, and Gerald Henderson for a pick that if it isn't in the top 3, the Knicks are protected in the top 3 of the lottery. But if it's 4 on, Seattle would make the switch and get the pick. I'm sure that Scotty Sterling didn't expect the Knicks to be out of the lottery. I mean, I don't think any general manager is saying we're going to be bad this year. I'm sure he made moves to hope that his team gets in the playoffs.
I'll tell you, I think he's got plenty enough talent here at this ball club right now, and a lot of other people agree with me that I've talked to throughout the league.
And they're showing some of it. The confidence factor has been important, and they're showing a lot more of that today. 19 seconds and 17 on the shot clock. Knicks by 2. Jordan. Corzine ties it up.
What a great play by Dave Corzine. I mean, he has been immense coming down the stretch for the Bulls. He carved out room on this rebound. Look, they surround Jordan. He's got to take a poor shot, but look at Corzine, said, this is my turf, gang. Get out of there. Took a blow by Henderson and still made the basket. Got a free throw.
Cartwright committed the foul. And the Bulls lead it 85-84, and the Knicks call a timeout with 6 seconds to go. A three-point play by Dave Corzine, who has scored 14 points off the bench, and the Bulls lead by 1, and the Knicks with 1 chance left. Now, with 6 seconds to go, Tommy, they've got Ewing, they've got Cartwright. It would seem that the order of the day would go in strong. Do you believe that?
Well, the inside game certainly is going to be paramount in Dougie Collins' mind to try and stop. So the last time they doubled Ewing, he found Henderson cutting to the basket. It may be Henderson may end up having to take a shot rather than develop the inside game. They're going to, if anything, force an outside shot and don't create or commit a foul. That's what the Bulls don't want to do. So it'd be very interesting to find out if they can get the ball inside and get a good shot off within that 6 seconds.
Another exciting Christmas Day game on CBS, and our next broadcast will be January the 18th when we're at Boston Garden as the 2 finalists of last year, the Houston Rockets and the Boston Celtics, square off. We've got a lot of football action coming your way on CBS prior to that, and we've got a great game today and the John Hancock Sun Bowl following this game. But right now the Bulls lead 85-84, 6 seconds to go. What are they talking about defensively?
First of all, they want the ball to come out to a certain area. They don't want an easy entry close to the basket to the low post from the out of bounds. It's not so easy to inbound the ball at half court and get the ball over. So I'm sure the Bulls right now, they might even put a big guy on the man taking the ball out of bounds and stop the pass down the sideline and force it to half court.
Been kind of a strange finish. We showed you Michael Jordan with the last 18 points when the Knicks played in Chicago. Jordan has scored only 4 points in this final quarter. Corzine and Banks have 18 between them in this final period. But as you pointed out, the triple team on Jordan set up the others.
And they converted off some nice passes from Michael Jordan. He was used as a decoy and he responded to the job they wanted him to do.
6 seconds to go. Comes into Tucker. Ewing sets a screen. The shot is off. Loose ball. Ewing goes up. The basket counts.
Dick. Long shot, but they don't black Ewing out. He gets aggressively on the boards. A long rebound comes right to him and front rims it as the light goes off and falls in. What a win.
Here it is from another angle. Ewing, 28 points and 17 rebounds. He did it a year ago on Christmas Day. How do you think Doug Collins feels? But the Knicks finally win a close one. Their first of the year, beating Chicago by 1. The shot is off. Loose ball. Ewing goes up. The basket counts.